I feel like y'all, I gotta disclaim and just be honest and let you know this video is probably going to be one of an unpopular opinion, a video where I will probably end up being on an island by myself. But as many of you know from my past videos, I'm okay with that, not shy about it. Because I feel like there could be you guys who definitely feel like the proof was in the pudding in this episode, but I just simply disagree. Okay. And you know, I'm gonna get into it. Give me a chance to explain. Okay. But you cut my head off. Give me a chance to explain. Furthermore, you know how they have the saying devil in a red dress? I'm like, why are we seeing the devil in red pants show up on our screen so soon? I mean, I knew, or we do, she was coming back, right? But it hasn't even been a full 2 episodes later, and we already have to be like looking at her all over again. Like, I'm so over it, you guys. Again, we'll get into it. What is going on? It's your girl Taina B here. Welcome to my chat party. If you could join me for a little bit, a lot of it, fashionably early, fashionably late, I appreciate you so much from the bottom of my heart to hear my little thoughts, my little views, my little opinions. And as I used to say, and I think I'm going to start incorporating again, just all fun, not all facts, as it relates to the Real Housewives of Orange County, season 19, episode number 8. Okay, for those of you who hit my dance floor with your comments last week, OMG, or last video, I should say, I appreciate y'all so much from the bottom of my heart. I didn't catch the next wave of comments literally until a little before I recorded this video, so I didn't get a chance to respond. So forgive me, but I saw you, I read you, I thank you, and I will be shouting you out at the end of my video. A, because everybody else who's here is like, listen, we ain't come here for all that. Get to the point. And then B, because you know I love to save the best for last. For those of you who will decide to subscribe, I thank you in advance to allow my guest list to keep guest listing. And those of you who just will come by and want to peek in at the party, your viewership, thank you in advance. Okay. But we've got work to do and we've got to get into it. So here we go. We start off with Shannon and her dad. She's taking him out to celebrate his 96th birthday. He looks great and is sharp as a tack. I'm like, look, I pray that I can live to see 96 and still be just so together as her dad appears in scenes. I thought his birthday song moment with the Marilyn Monroe lookalike was super cute, especially considering he's stamped as a ladies' man. Okay. But sidebar to the sidebar of it all, when I tell you, and I know y'all can't disagree with me, well, when I tell you Shannon was serving, yes, ma'am, she was serving in that confessional with that metallic brown dress, hair up with the earrings, makeup looking right. I said, come on, Shannon. Don't hurt us too bad. Okay. Don't hurt us too bad. OMG. I was here for it. It was a ooh la la moment for me. I love that. And I, kind of got sidetracked with that. But anywho's, I will say I'm also glad, as I mentioned before, that she's still abiding by her boundaries. Though I kind of was wondering about that a little later on when we did the whole lie detector test and the question came up of if she still wanted to remain friends with Tamara. But then I kind of had to rethink that, right? And I said, okay, well, in all fairness, again, they do have a history with one another, albeit mainly bad or the bad outweighing the good. So, we can't deny that. And, sometimes those situations aren't as easily get over, right? Like with your emotions, while your body and your mind are training you to change your heart on certain things, that takes time. So I was like, okay, well, maybe internally she's not fully there yet. It could be something that she struggles with, or again, it just could be something that takes time, right? I said, but we know at the end of the day, seasons change and people change. Gotta leave some people right where they are. All right. For example, I left some folks down at the shore in 2024 because everybody can't go with you for numerous reasons. Tamara's toxicity is Shannon's reason. But moving forward, we all know these things. So let's go ahead and get to Gretchen and Gina, who meet with Kiki Monique. And Kiki Monique definitely lets us know once she sits down that she really would not be doing this otherwise had it not been for her pretty much defending her reputation. And I can respect that, right? I got some thoughts about it, but I can respect that a lot. And she did end up confirming that she spoke with Katie, who told her that Gretchen said that she did have to end up going to the hospital after that naked, wasted night because she had stuff in her system and was the D word, as we know. So with all of that, and the scene with Kiki Monique, or Kiki Monique's stay was pretty short lived. She didn't appear to be there for a long while. We see just Gretchen getting upset. They, kind of have that back and forth about things. And Kiki also says that Katie brought up Gina too in the conversation that they had, something as it relates to just her being, making a racist remark. We get a flashback of that had to do with some type of designer. And I think Gina was like, oh, is that Asian too? Kind of the emphasis on the Asian, which Katie took offense to. And even in this moment, was it being implied that Gina was a racist? I don't know. I'm like, who put 20 on that 10? But it could have been. I still feel like, I can understand maybe someone taking offense to that, but it simply can be cured in that moment with well, what do you mean by that? Like, why are you asking me like that? I wish she would have squashed that in that moment, but things happen how they should. Sometimes people don't want to ruffle feathers or anything like that. Still would have been a conversation that should have been had before now, though, at least once some time has passed. For Katie with Gina to see where her head was with that and why she said it, in that way. I don't think that Gina meant any harm, but who am I? I don't know. People are funny style. I ain't too trusting of the world these days anyway, right? So we now have Gina, who said she thought that she was excited about Katie coming in because she thought Katie was going to be representing her culture and all the things. And she said, so with how things have gone now with this whole racist situation, it just shows more of Katie's inconsistencies and that it all seems performative. And again, I can't lie. As I mentioned before, I don't think that Katie is squeaky clean. I really don't. But I don't think these other ladies are either. She's giving me what some of them give as well. I'll explain that a little more. So I understand Gretchen's upset, right? In that moment, she definitely appears to be given genuine hurt, but also she says she feels bad for not listening to everyone and she just didn't know who to believe. And I'm like, I feel you because that's where I was in my last video. I didn't know who to believe. I felt that, right? I was confused. That's why I'm like, y'all, I don't know. And I thank you for your opinions on what you feel. And I've heard what you have to say. But I'm going to say whether some of you felt Katie's lies were apparent or not, I still didn't want to believe that she'd had a reason to really come out and lie on Gretchen in the form, shape, and fashion that she did. I think that was like a lot, a lot, a lot. Now, people do stuff for less, right? Or greater stuff for less, or however you want to put it. That could be the case, but it wasn't all making sense to me. So again, to that I'll say I think there's some messy in there somewhere with Katie in this, but I don't think all of this weight belongs to Katie. Only time will tell. But shout out to Kiki Monique nonetheless, like I said, for showing up to salvage her reputation. I just hope she was even telling the truth, right? I've never seen this lady. I don't know. I don't know her, so I'm allowed to say that. I feel like, and what I said last video still stands. I feel like people can be paid to say anything. While money may not talk for all folks, it talks for many. How do we know? Because then we saw a flashback later on where Gretchen's like, oh, well, I've got to call Kiki Monique. Well, how do we know they didn't have a whole full conversation before Kiki Monique came to the camera? And how do we know what exactly that conversation entailed? Like, just because Kiki Monique seemed credible, right? So at first glance, first impression, I'd be like, okay, I get it. She wants to salvage her reputation. We could run with it, but I'm just not so quick to do that. Say I got trust issues, that's fine. I'm just not, right? It's like, okay, maybe. That's how I feel with it. So you just don't know. It could have been a conversation was like, listen, I will give you this amount of money, or I will do this or that, or this will allow you to have an appearance so it can grow your platform more. And maybe Monique doesn't even need all that. This is just me making my own theories up, my own opinions. And if you come say this, that will help us out. I think it spices up the show more. It'll give whatever. Some of the ladies don't like Katie anyway, so I think it'd be great. You just never know. And to the flip right, we know that certainly could have been a very honest conversation about what did not go down. And that Katie is a huge liar, allegedly, right? It could be. I'm just saying I'm still not completely sold on this, but I'll get into it. So we're gonna fast forward to Emily's Persian event at her house in honor of her mother-in-law, who tends to throw these every year based off of her culture. the mother-in-law is just as cute as she wants to be, and she's still very much around, because I'm saying this in honor of, like, she's not here, so I hope no one's taking that to mean that. But if you know, you know. Anywho, it's just the cutest little lady. We've seen her quite a few times in past seasons, just as petite and well put together she wants to be. And so her husband is in the hospital, she's been tending to him, so Emily thought what better way than to kind of take over and still keep things going, which I thought was really cool. I will say I did think it was a dope idea that Emily decided to secretly have the lie detector test set up for the ladies when they arrived, just to get down to the shenanigans of it all. Now, okay, let me not jump ahead because I want to save that. What y'all, I'm gonna break it down. Okay, so once Gina and Heather arrive, they get to talking a little bit. Heather asks if Tamara was coming and if they'd heard from her. She let them know just how pissed Tamara's been with her, but more so with everybody because no one really called to check in on her. Emily says she doesn't really know. She sent the invite. She thinks she's coming, but now she's a little leery about her coming because she doesn't want her coming in guns blazing. And see, that's something to be said. When you got to be on edge about somebody, that speaks a lot to their character. But okay. And I was so mad, like I said, so mad when that thing showed up on Emily's doorstep. Now, when they first kind of did the little, oh, let's try to trip up the audience and act like it's Tamara when it's not. I had a feeling that was Jen. I'm like, that's not Tamara. But I also had a feeling, and I was wrong, that we weren't going to be seeing Tamara this episode. And then here she comes at the door. I'm like, I cannot. The spawn of Satan has arrived in all red. Here we go, and she do it. Like, but why did you wear all red? Okay. And well, and again, now we knew she wasn't going to pass up the check, right? Because A, Tamara loves the camera, and then B, I'm like, is Eddie still unemployed? Allegedly. I mean, all income is very much accepted, right? And very much helpful. But again, I say so soon. Why? Why? Oh, why? Let me move on. But and however, like, can I just say it one more time? I would have appreciated not having to see her so freaking soon, y'all. When I tell you that did something to my spirit, I was like, no, it hurt me to the core, like someone just sliced my heart. But I'm like, okay, we got to deal with this. I can do this. I've seen her many times before when I didn't want to. I can do this. And how dreadful, though, and such a huge abomination to viewers like me and you guys who aren't feeling her at all of this franchise. Whatever. So the ladies move. The ladies start to arrive, and my party piece. I've got to be honest when I say I'm not a fan of a lot of people these days, as I just mentioned, because of how they act and how they move. Call it my own experiences. So, to that, I'll say when Shannon, not in these exact words, but when she said you can't act a fool and then come back, or you can act a fool, like you get a pass for acting a fool, and then you can come back and be welcome with open arms when it comes to Tamara, I about fell out my seat. Okay, because I couldn't agree with her anymore, anymore. I'm like, it's I'm just like, how, like, why, why do they always allow this with this lady? Again, is it because it's Tamara and because they fear her and because she's someone you want to get connected to because she's been around for so long? Like, why? Y'all are not making any sense with that. I really do not understand. Because, like Shannon pretty much impliedly stated too, we're all going to act like none of the stuff that happened in New Orleans happened. Like, Gina, you were just talking about that, like, probably 15, 20 to half an hour before she arrived, talking about, well, I'm going to call her to check on her for what? She's the one who said F off. And I'm like, exactly. So keep that same energy. What happened to that? Why you let that go? You should have held on to that. Because you definitely got up with the quickness to go run and scurry along to her to try to get in her good graces. I'm like, girl, sit your back down. Why are you over there? And sidebar, I don't know if y'all peeped Shannon's face at that moment when Gina was like, let me just go ahead and get this out the way. She saw Gina get up to go greet her. It was so funny to me. Shannon was looking like, now where the hell you going? It was so funny. If y'all didn't see it, go back, rewind it. It's quick, but it's funny. It's a catch. Okay. So the lint licking from Emily and Gina, I just wasn't feeling it at all. Because again, Gina, you be the main one talking. You be talking right, but you've been the main one talking about Tamara and just how she's acting. You can't be a DICK to people and this, that, and the third, and then expect this and that. And she, she came in sloshed and yada yada yada. You've been saying it right. Like what happened to all of that? It's just out the window. I see. Okay, learn how to stick to your guns and not be, not fold so easily. And Emily, I'm gonna say too, I'm sorry because I feel like your excuse for not reaching out to Tamara was boo boo. No, no, no. Rewind. I take that back. Not because not what it was, right? We know the situation is serious, but the fact that you would use that as an excuse is boo boo. Because my thing is, yes, while you're very much going through something oh so serious with your son, and it's a very emotional time for you, and you're trying to figure it all out, there's 24 hours in a day. And this is an era of life where people are continuously in their phones. So you haven't had no time between you left New Orleans, and in that moment you're standing before her to reach out to her, regardless to what you have going on. Because B, I will say you certainly had time to get a lie detector tester set up. You had to contact people for that, right? And it might have been back and forth if y'all were missing each other due to your schedules or whatever, or talking for a while to ask questions. I mean, that took up some time, whether it was an emails, that took time. You definitely had a party planner there to set up for the Persian event. I'm sure that took communication and time. I mean, I'm just saying, let's not act like. Let's not act like. All right. Then you could have reached out to your friend when you woke up that next morning after she acted a fool, before you went to bed that night, on your way to the airport, while you were waiting to board your plane at the airport. Like you could have reached out. So I just don't want to hear that. And I'm like, that's so low key slimy to me in a sense to use your son as an excuse for that. But maybe it's just something I catch that I'm doing too much with. Let's move forward. You didn't, okay? But you didn't own up to the fact that, listen, I didn't reach out to you because I didn't want to. I think you acted crazy and I just wasn't here for that. I was giving you some time. It's as simple as that. So miss me with all that other fluff right now. Sidebar. Also, actually, okay, I already mentioned that I was going to ask about the whole Shannon's face situation. And so the ladies are all there at this point. Emily has them write down their burning questions that they want to ask, and shortly thereafter, she shares that she's got a lie detector, um, or a lie detector test set up upstairs. But the ladies didn't have to participate if they didn't want to. But boy, was I so glad that Katie did and decided to do it, because I said, "Girl, if you don't, then they really gonna ride you." And clearly, it didn't matter in this instance because she was damned if she didn't, and absolutely turned out to be damned because she did, right? And so we'll get to the point of it all, which is that the lie detector determined for Katie that everything she done said was a whole entire lie, right? Gretchen told the 100% truth and Katie told 100% lie, which was so interesting to me. Now, maybe those are the only questions that they focused on and we didn't get to see, or maybe the camera cut the other questions that they asked and then they just took those questions. Because I find it interesting how with the other ladies, some of their stuff was hit and miss. Nobody got 100% until it came to the situation with Gretchen and Katie. So Katie gets 100% for failing, Gretchen gets 100% for telling the truth. I'm like, oh, how ironic. Fabulous. Okay. But here's where the breakdown comes in. Okay. For me, here's where I break it down, where I feel like I'm still not sold yet. And you could call me a kook. You could call me crazy. You could call me slow. You can call me all the things. But this is where I'm at with it. And my mind will change when I'm at a comfortable space to say that it's changed and now it makes more sense to me. Because one, the lie detector test lady who administered the test was giving suspect to me. Okay. And remember, this is on my opinion. I felt like she was unprofessional and a little too invested for someone who doesn't have a dog in this fight. Like, even after Katie took her test, when Katie leaves, she's like, oh, she's so foolish. Girl, a professional wouldn't be doing all that. You keep your opinions to yourself. You're not here for that. You're here to just do your job and go right on home. All the extra in between, like even when she's reading some of the test results as it relates to Katie and Gretchen, well, Gretchen, I mean, yours was 100% correct. And Katie, you did not tell the truth. Like, girl, you're doing too much. Your energy is giving like, girl, where did you come from? Are you for real? So I just kind of, my antenna went up on that. Just her. I watch people. I'm very observant, and I felt like it's almost like, oh, this is my homegirl that I had to do this test, and she's gonna go up to bat for me to show that Katie's a liar. That's just my opinion, okay? Because for all of my Real Housewives of New Jersey party peeps out there, which most of you know that is my absolute favorite franchise. Cannot wait for it to rev back up. Haven't heard any news. I don't know what's going on. I know it was a mess last time, but I hope they get it together. Do y'all remember? And I can't remember verbatim, but do y'all remember that season when, and it wasn't too far off. It wasn't last season. Maybe it was the season before last season, where the ladies gathered for dinner at Dolores's boyfriend Paulie's house, and I think Jennifer Aiden had like a Turkish psychic of some sort come and read like the coffee cups or something like that. And it was just so weird how everything this lady was guessing was so spot on to their situations, to the point where it's like, okay, Jen, you definitely set this up. Like, this is not the lady coming in unbiased and really doing her job. Like, no, this is your homegirl. You gave her the scoop on what was going on, because even like, it was looking crazy for others. But then when it got to Jennifer, the lady's like, oh, well, you're going to have so many endorsements or something like that. But yet, that's like, was the same word that Marge had used in an argument with Jen or something. Like it was just like, girl, this is giving, like, this is giving, this lady is not credible. So I'm sorry. I personally feel like that's what this lie detector test lady was giving. Like, you're not that credible to me. I don't know what Timu website you came from, but it's giving, no, it's giving ineffective for me. All right. So that was that. That's the first part. Then two, I'm like, based on that test, then I guess we have some other liars in the group, right? We got Heather and Jen, who are also liars because they weren't honest about some things, right? And I'm like, okay, and Tamara, we already knew, right? She lied about the whole autism thing, allegedly, da da da. Da. But even with that, I'm just like, I don't know how to feel about this. I can't even hop on camera about that and say that, oh, see, girl, you were lying, because it's like, I just don't trust this test. The paparazzi thing with Heather, I can't even say Heather was lying for sure, because I just don't trust this test. So, I mean, I'm just saying, right? I know they didn't lie as much as Katie lied, but it's still like, okay, well, we got other liars in the group. Okay, are we gonna pay attention to that too? But numero tres, number three. Number three, which was the overarching moment of it all for me, and why I don't believe in the credibility of this test, is because of what we saw right in front of our face, right? But even before that, sidebar, I said, not Jen with the half of 10 times 5 question and not knowing the answer to that. I said, Jen, take your time, honey. Think it out. You got it. Let them know if you need a piece of paper and a pen to write it down. Because sometimes we need to do that, right? I was like, oh gosh, Jen, come on, sis. Anyways, even before I get into that smoking GUN situation, right? When this moment, let me just say, just even so, I felt like, I'm sure people were honing in on Katie's anxiety, right? And that probably being a factor that showed that she was guilty and doing the most and all of that. However, let's make sure though we were also paying attention to the fact that Shannon says she had anxiety over the test too. Now, was it showing her giving as much as Katie was giving? Well, no. And I feel like it's because probably of the scrutiny that Katie was facing. She's on the chopping block, so the production is gonna heighten hers more. But Shannon definitely did say it. I don't know if y'all caught that as well. She said the same exact thing, that she had major anxiety over taking the test, and people definitely probably would. I mean, a lie detector is no joke. I can't imagine that it's a fun test to take, and it probably does make you nervous, but we all deal with things in different ways nonetheless. Let's look at Gina, the last episode, when she had a high anxiety attack because Shannon showed up late and kept showing up late. And I'm like, girl, you doing all of that for that? But everybody handles things differently, right? We couldn't understand that anxiety in that moment, where in this moment it makes more sense. But like I said, I know it's going to be focused on the fact that hers was so high. Why was yours so high, Katie, if you were telling the truth? Anyways, so going back to what does it for me and what sets the whole house on fire in this instance, was when we see the flashback First of all, let me rewind. The administrator of the test, she's sharing Gretchen's results. They get to the question of if she went to the hospital after the naked wasted event. Gretchen said no. The lie detector determined that was the truth. You were telling the truth. Okay. But it was for me, in that moment, how Shannon and Tamara kind of looked at each other like, hmm. But then that beautiful footage of Tamara having the conversation with Gretchen and also Shannon confirming that she was part of the conversation too. Maybe Shannon was in the car. I can't remember, but I just definitely remember that mix up when Gretchen was like, well, I did go to the hospital. She told them she went to the hospital, but yet the lie detector determined that she was telling the truth when she said she didn't. I was like, oh, I'm done. Like, stick a fork in me. I'm done. You want me to believe this test, especially in this moment? Yeah, I think not. I think I'm good. I think I need more. Do I think it did not make Katie look good? No, it did not make her look good. But is this test credible? Is the question. Is this test credible? Like, we can't ignore that. So I'm just like, that's a major point of evidence right there. You know what I mean? Like that's like a mic drop moment. Like we cannot graze past that. Like that wasn't just said. That to me determines everything. Everything. And so I feel like too for the ladies who hold themselves in such high regard, like Heather, for instance, I know she didn't like being lied on. She said that that's just not true with the whole paparazzi thing. So that's got to be something on her mind to say to herself, listen, this test can't be that credible then because I know for a fact I didn't call. So maybe there's something to be said about the fact that maybe we need to get a different organization involved in this thing. Same thing with Tamara. If you didn't lie about the whole autism situation, which again we know your history, but okay, we're gonna keep this an isolated event. You didn't lie about the whole autism situation, and that should have some wheels spinning in your head. Well, dang, I don't know if we can get that excited when it comes to Katie's results. No, y'all are just excited because that's what you want the results to be. And again, I'm not saying that Katie's 1,000% upright walking citizen when it comes to telling the truth, but I don't know about this, y'all. I need more. We don't believe you. We need more people. That's just where I'm at with it. You know what I'm saying? So, DJ, shout out also to my party peeps, Marion Folly 5821, who also shared in her comment that another content creator said that the man who owns the lie detector company isn't even certified. He ain't even certified. But you want me to believe that? And the association turned him down and said he wasn't qualified. And the woman on the camera, the one who was doing the most, in my opinion, with her energy, like she knew them people and like she had a vendetta against them, was doing the test. She works for him as well. So it's like, I'm good. I'm good. Okay. I'm going to save my apologies that I say I will gladly give for a little later on. I need a little bit more. And that's all I'm trying to say. Okay. At the end of the day, the music is on, the dance floor is lit. Don't be no prude and hold up the wall. I definitely would love to hear what you guys have got to say about this. If this is all you needed and you're done, Katie is a certified liar from the pits of hell. Or if you're like, yeah, it just seemed a little shisty, I can see where you're coming from. Or if you respectfully just want to let me know, girl, you're still not seeing it. I'm not. I'm not. And I'm not trying to be difficult. I'm just trying to be honest and I'm trying to be fair. And I don't know, y'all. I just don't know. I'm curious to see how the rest of this pans out first. Maybe I'm a little too gullible in this moment, like Gretchen was. When it came to Katie, like Jen was. When it came to Katie, maybe I have a soft spot for Katie that I shouldn't have. But I just don't I don't know. Why would she lie so deep? Like, I don't know, guys. I mean, people lie all the time, right? We see that. But I just feel like something is off. Something is missing. Something is, even with Jen going off, right? When Katie was like, Jen, you were there. Like, you did it. And Katie was like, no, no, don't bring me in it. I don't know, you guys. I don't know. I need more time. Okay. Let me know what you guys think. I definitely want to get into my special DJ shout outs. Talkative TV addict. What is going on, girl? It has been so long. Where you been at? I was so delighted to see you appear in the comments again. You know, I always love what you have to say because it's always so substantive and great food for thought. And I was looking for you at a point in time. It might have been at the beginning of this season or when I did my reviews for Atlanta, because I ain't seen you for a minute, but I definitely, got you loud and clear. You were kind of in your own shows doing your own thing, but I'm glad you're well and I'm glad you're back. Happy to see you, Angry Dragon. Hey, my newbie, what's going on? Courtney Gibson. Hey, girl. Hey, Marion Folly. Again, thank you for that information. This is why I need people like you in my life, okay? Because you present what you need to present, whether it's for or against, it's helpful information. Paprika ASMR girl. I mean, do I need to say it? I can't. Do I need to say it? Okay. And Aggie, I think I'm saying this, Arzinski. Hello. I hope I said that right. And Bravado, you already know it's all love. We ain't agreeing on this one. But it's all love. Will I cross over to your side like I had to last time? I may not, but I ain't there yet. I'm standing in the middle, okay? So thank you guys so much for showing your love. I appreciate y'all. I pray that you continue to show the love. Share your thoughts. Do not be shy about it. Let me know what you think. After all, that's what dialogue is about. That's what communication is for. I need to know how you feel. Okay, and I appreciate it for sure. And I will definitely make it my business, my duty, even if I gotta sit before I hit the record button and respond to the messages in this next video. I would definitely make it my duty. I'm sorry, y'all. The week was lost upon me, and then I was like, oh shoot, I actually got more comments. Dang it! But I've already watched the episode, so forgive me, you guys. But I'll be on it next time. I will say that I hope that this video finds you in good spirits, and if it didn't, I hope I said a little something to put a smile on your face and brighten your day this Labor Day weekend. Have a great one, you guys. Be safe, all the things. Cook out, but don't burn nothing down. Don't get into no arguments with nobody, right? Because some things just ain't worth it. But enjoy yourself to the fullest. And y'all know I most certainly will be back next week to do this all over again because, oh, they got me so invested. I've got to know, okay? So until then, y'all know what to do. Y'all stay up. Y'all stay blessed. And I'm out. Peace.